Hello Steve and everyone there over at Psych! My name is Jerry and I'm a comic book artist by profession. I've worked on comic books for Marvel and DC Comics, and in the show, I'm probably equivalent to Hilt Schooler in the episode Sean vs. the Red Phantom, just without the murderous malevolence. I wanted to offer this appreciation because I just love the show. I think it's hysterical. It's one of my favorite shows on TV right now. Over at the USA message boards for Psych, I go by the name Bruton Gaster. There's actually another reason why I wanted to make this video message to you, and it's because I have this idea. Before you say anything else, sir, or change the channel, just let me... What? Change the channel, I said. There's no channels on the internet. How do you... Oh, with the mouse. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, sir. Before you click on the mouse to go somewhere else, hear me out. Hear me out. Oh. I know that this is an unsolicited idea and that you may not be able to use it. But let me assure you, just in case there's a small, tiny, microscopic, infinitesimal, almost insignificant, reverse astronomical possibility that you might like it, you can use it free of charge from me, just because this is a kind of episode that I want to watch as a fan. I would love to see this kind of idea as a fan. I've seen all the episodes so far, and I've noticed that you have yet to do a story in a rock concert setting, or at least in a rock musician's world. Let's say this musician guy, very popular musician guy, goes to Santa Barbara for a concert and he loses his precious $5 million guitar, or whatever he loses. Could be anything really. It's a really a minor point in the story. Sean is a huge fan of this guy, and he wants in on the investigation to find this guy's guitar because he is a huge fan. Gus, not so much, and Henry, not so much because of his experience as a policeman with rock people. Nothing but trouble. But Sean is a huge fan. He idolizes this guy, the way the jackal salivates for an injured possum. Aww. So Sean thinks this guy is the coolest guy who ever lived, the coolest guy ever, and the most kick-ass guy ever on this planet. And he just can't wait, to wear his rockstar's vest, or the equivalent thereof. So like a giggling schoolgirl, he goes up to this guy and he meets him, and he's not quite the guy that Sean was expecting. This guy is absolutely superstitious. And upon learning that Sean is a psychic, he latches onto him like a leech and demands that the police allow him to investigate, much to the chagrin of Lassiter. And it turns out this guy is also quite the nerd, and so him and Gus hit it off quite well, and they're talking about all these really academic things, weird academic things, and much to the consternation of Sean, and he doesn't know what's happening. So his hero meter for this guy is slowly dropping, and because he is such a fan of psychics, this guy, he latches on to Sean and Gus and follows them around Santa Barbara, pestering them, being the real pest, and getting in all sorts of trouble, and putting them in trouble. Being very superstitious, this guy holds on to every word that Sean says. So whenever Sean goes like, I see something, he goes like, what? Am I gonna die? Is a piano gonna fall on my head? What? So he's quite paranoid. He's quite paranoid at everything that Sean is going to say. So it adds another comedy thing to it. Imagine William Shatner in the movie Free Enterprise, where these two hardcore fans of William Shatner meet him for the first time, and he's quite goofy, and he becomes a kind of a pest, a kind of a stalker, if you will, of them. So it's very much like this one, like what happens. So Sean is very disappointed, and whatever he does, he really can't get rid of this guy, and he follows them around. And unbelievably enough, this guy and Henry hit it off as well. You know, they managed to bond on a certain thing, maybe fishing or something. So it further frustrates Sean even more. So this is the kind of situation, you know, that goes around until the case is solved. As for who this guy is, you know, I think there's no better person to play him than Roger Daltrey. I think there's really no other person who could play this rock star better than a real rock star and an actor, a very good actor to boot, Roger Daltrey. And if you've seen him, and especially in Highlander, especially in the last season, he is a very much a comic foil to Duncan MacLeod. If you haven't seen the episode Unusual Suspects, I suggest you watch it, because this is the perfect audition tape for you to see, to test if he's really the perfect guy for this. And you will see he is the perfect guy for this. He is goofy, he is crazy, he is just amazingly funny and very cool. He's just, I think personally that Roger Daltrey is one of the coolest guys on the planet. He is very talented, and he's also very funny when it comes to it, and he loves acting. And in a lot of interviews, he equates acting to a normal life compared to his rock star life. So he really looks forward to these acting things, and I'm sure that if you guys approach him for this acting gig in Psych, and if he sees a couple of episodes, I'm quite sure he's going to be game for this. I'm quite sure. So really, there's no other person for this than Roger. I strongly suggest. Okay, that's all I got for this thing. I thank you very much for getting this far and for allowing me the opportunity to share this idea with you. And before I go, there's really just one more thing that I want to say. Psych! Roger Daltrey. Awesome!